And you can see right behind me is where I'm staying, and it's again a really old structure, and the trains here, the trams, you can see they run on the grass. This kind of reminds me of New Orleans, and here, I think it's the only place in the whole world where they have the electrical line underground. No other country in the world does that. So it's about 8 o'clock, September 11th today. But here in France, I'd have to say I've been here about a week, and I have to say that Bordeaux might be the perfect city. And I think I think it might be the perfect city for a lot of reasons. One, just the history of the place. The Garonne River, I mean, they had Vikings going up that river, and the Romans settled this area around a few hundred years before BC, before the birth of Christ, and up to about 600 AD. So I was at a museum, saw a lot of Roman artifacts. The other thing is so that says there's a huge history here. I mean, the amount of old buildings in this place is just amazing. It's like if this was back in North America, every building would have some kind of historical marker on it. I'm kind of in a new section here. They're actually building a lot of apartment complexes here, but it's remarkable to see all these buildings from the 13th century, and also I'd say they're, like I mentioned before, the building boom is probably in the 1700s. The other thing that's great about this place is the climate. Here it's again September 11th, and it's still sunlight outside, and the weather is just remarkably nice in the 70s. And I guess you need that kind of climate for the for the grapes, for all the wine here. So this wine region would be another big seller as well. The city, in my mind, is just the right size, 250,000 people. It's easy to walk around. Another great thing about this city is so many different ways of transport. They have a great bike rental program. They have, just want to get out of the way, it's starting to hit. They have buses, tram line going through here. It's really easy to get around, and you can walk around most of the city by foot within a half an hour from one end to the other. So it's just great. And they have the waterway, the Garonne. They have a boat that can transport you around as well. The food, it's funny, I do most of my cooking at home, so I really, it's probably a shame, but I really haven't been going wining and dining. I just enjoy cooking at home. I like to cook. And but what else about the city? It just seems like it's easy to manage. It seems relatively safe. I haven't been in any section that seemed kind of where I felt endangered. The people here seem actually quite nice. I know Paris probably takes a hit for maybe the temperament of the folks, but here the people are really friendly, and I think that's quite nice. And bonjour. And so that's why I think it's a really interesting spot. They have a university here as well. The cost of things are not too bad. Probably relative to the rest of France or some of the nicer cities in Europe, it's probably a little lower in the cost of living. House rentals and cost of food is probably lower. But still, you know, relative to Portugal and probably Spain, it's probably a bit more expensive. Um, but I can tell you, the the price of certain things are really low. For instance, wine is one, bread is another. I can't, you know, it's like half the price of what I'd pay at home at a boulangerie or a bakery. The price of you know, fresh made bakery bread is quite affordable. The other thing that's kind of amazing are haircuts. There's a section here called Cour de la Marte, and it's on that street. We have a lot of kind of barber shops there. I think most of the barbers are from Morocco. I just got a haircut today. It was like 10 euros. And the guy was amazingly precise, and he cut everything, you know, I mean, like so precisely. It was like Edward Scissorhands cutting the hair, and had, I mean, for 10 euros, what he did is probably the best haircut I ever had. And where you pay at home maybe $30 or $35, maybe more. It was pretty amazing here. So there are definitely some things, you know, I guess that's probably the case everywhere. You get some things cheaper than other things, but I said, yeah, it's really a great place. So here for 3 months, I wouldn't mind coming, you know, maybe in the future this might be a place to come back to, but we're going to be moving from this residence over here behind me, and we're going to go to something also quite old, but it's going to be more centrally located in the city. So I'll give you an update a little later. Thanks.